Take a slow breath with me for a moment. Imagine this. You're sitting at home in the United States or somewhere across the world, watching the news, trying to protect your future and your family. Everywhere you look, the world feels more uncertain than it used to. Some countries are becoming unsafe, some are changing their rules overnight, and many Americans who love to travel, work, or explore abroad are suddenly finding themselves stuck in dangerous or unpredictable situations. If you're watching today because you want to stay safe, stay informed, and avoid making a mistake that could affect your life or your immigration status, then you are in the right place. Today we're talking about 7 Asian countries that Americans should avoid right now. I'm not here to create fear. I'm here to give you clarity, context, and real information so you can make smart decisions for yourself or your loved ones. Whether you are a U.S. citizen, a green card holder, or someone waiting for your immigration process, knowing which countries to avoid is more important than ever. Let's start with the first country, and as we go through each one, I'll explain exactly why it's on this list, what risks Americans are facing, and how even a short trip could affect your safety or your legal situation in the United States. The first country Americans should avoid right now is Afghanistan. Even though Afghanistan is a place with deep history and culture, it remains extremely unstable. The U.S. government continues to warn its citizens not to travel there because of terrorism, kidnapping, lack of medical care, and almost no American government presence on the ground to help you if something goes wrong. Many Americans don't realize that if you're taken hostage in a country where the U.S. has no embassy, help might never arrive. And if you're a green card holder, traveling to a high-risk country can raise questions when you come back to the United States, especially if immigration officers think the trip was unusual or dangerous. In some cases, it can even delay your immigration process. So for now, avoiding Afghanistan is simply the safest choice. The second country on the list is Myanmar, also known as Burma. Over the past few years, Myanmar has gone through a severe political crisis and internal conflict. What looks like a simple vacation on the surface can turn into a nightmare because the situation changes suddenly. Airports shut down, roads get blocked, the internet goes out, and foreign travelers can get trapped without warning. Americans who have been there recently reported being stuck for days with no clear information about what was happening. When a country is unstable, even small problems like losing a passport or getting sick can become major emergencies. That's why both U.S. citizens and immigrants in the U.S. should avoid traveling there until things stabilize. The third country to avoid is North Korea. This is one of the few countries in the world where American passports are actually restricted by U.S. law. That means you legally cannot travel there without special government permission. The reason is simple. Americans have been detained in the past over very minor actions, things like taking a photo of a poster or saying something considered disrespectful. Once detained, the U.S. cannot negotiate easily because there is no direct diplomatic relationship. Even for green card holders or visa holders in the United States, visiting North Korea can cause huge problems because it raises security and political concerns. It's best to stay away completely. The fourth country is Pakistan. Now, to be clear, many Americans visit Pakistan for tourism or to see family, and not every area is dangerous. But certain regions have become extremely risky because of terrorism, political instability, and unpredictable protests. Americans have reported being targeted or monitored simply for being foreign. If you travel to a high-risk area, even if you intend no harm, it can create problems when returning to the United States. Immigration officers may ask detailed questions about where you went, why you went, and who you visited. And if you happen to get stuck due to protests or border closures, getting assistance can be very difficult. If someone absolutely must travel to Pakistan, they should stay only in safe, well-known cities, avoid border regions, and constantly monitor travel alerts. But for now, unnecessary trips should be avoided. The fifth country on the list is Iran. Tension between the United States and Iran remains extremely high. The Iranian government has detained foreign travelers, especially dual nationals, and used them as leverage in political negotiations. That means even if you are fully innocent, even if you are simply visiting family, you could be held for reasons completely outside your control. Americans in Iran have extremely limited access to help because the U.S. has no embassy there. And for green card holders or visa holders, travel to Iran can cause extra security screening and long delays at U.S. airports. These are real consequences that many people do not think about until it's too late. So until relations improve, Iran is a dangerous destination for Americans. The sixth country Americans should avoid right now is Syria. Syria has been in conflict for more than a decade. Large areas of the country remain unstable, and violence can happen with no warning. Kidnappings, airstrikes, and bombings are still common in certain regions. Hospitals are damaged, and emergency help is very limited. If an American is injured or detained there, it is almost impossible for the U.S. government to intervene. And again, for non-citizens living in the United States, traveling to an active conflict zone can raise questions about your background when you return. Even if your reasons are perfectly innocent, the risk is simply too high. The seventh country on this list is Yemen. Yemen faces one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. Food shortages, disease outbreaks, conflict between armed groups, and the destruction of critical infrastructure make it extremely unsafe for foreign visitors. Airports close suddenly, flights are canceled for weeks, and roads between major cities can become dangerous overnight. If an American needs medical attention there, finding proper care can be nearly impossible. Many Americans who went to Yemen in the past few years faced huge difficulties coming back to the United States because immigration officers were concerned about their safety and reasons for travel. Unless travel is absolutely necessary, Yemen should be avoided. Now that we've gone through all 7 countries, let's talk for a moment about why this matters so much for Americans, immigrants, and anyone in the U.S. immigration system. A lot of people think, traveling is my right, so why does it matter where I go? And yes, you absolutely have the right to travel. But the world today is more interconnected and more unpredictable than ever. When you travel to a high-risk area, even for good reasons, like visiting family or exploring your culture, you are putting yourself in a situation where the U.S. might not be able to help you. You're also entering a zone that immigration officers see as dangerous, which can lead to extra questions or delays. This is especially important for green card holders. If something happens abroad and you cannot return to the United States on time, it might affect your residency. If you are applying for citizenship, long trips to risky locations can raise questions about your stability, your background, or your safety. I have seen people lose months or even years of immigration progress because they traveled to the wrong place at the wrong time. And for U.S. citizens, the concern is personal safety. Your passport is strong, but it cannot protect you from political conflicts, sudden violence, or governments that do not cooperate with the United States. Every traveler hopes nothing bad will happen. But when things do go wrong, they often escalate very quickly in countries with unstable conditions. So what should you do if you still need to travel internationally? First, always check the U.S. State Department Travel Advisory. It's updated frequently and gives clear warnings for every country. Second, register your trip with the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, also known as STEP. This helps the U.S. government contact you in an emergency. Third, avoid border regions, conflict zones, and politically sensitive areas. And finally, if you are in the immigration process, always speak with an attorney before planning international travel. A short conversation can protect you from major problems. At the end of the day, travel is a beautiful experience. Many of us have families across the world, and staying connected is important, but staying informed is just as important. My goal today is not to scare you. It is to guide you, protect you, and help you make decisions that keep your future safe. If you found this information helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. Here at Legal Focus USA, we share clear and trustworthy updates to help you navigate U.S. immigration safely and confidently. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.